Hi. Well, what I'm going to do over the next month or so is I'm going to make a bunch of videos about our country, about some of our leaders, about some of the issues we face, and I'm going to post them on Facebook and Twitter. I'm also going to try to put them on YouTube so you can log in and possibly see them. But the first issue I want to talk about today is let's talk about our past history, the country's past history. It is common knowledge that the big cities, New York, LA, San Fran, Portland, Chicago, are the toughest to govern and cause us the most problems. It is also common knowledge that the Democratic Party has controlled and governed these cities for decades, and they basically have not improved them. They are by far our worst cities: corrupt, broke, poor schooling, high crime, high murder rate, economically poor, no advancement, no training to learn and better their lives. And what they've done throughout these decades is each year they get up and they talk about empty promises that they never fulfilled. They claim that they will fix these things. Well, how long is it going to take you to fix them? How about 75 years? 80 years? That's not enough time? And a lot of the people who blindly have faith in their government without knowing any better believe you. And the Democrats abuse them and use them for their votes. See, so this year's election, the Democrats, they're trying to get it every way possible for votes. They want immigrants to vote. They want mail-in voting, even though everybody knows that there's a lot of fraud there. They don't want people to register, to show ID when they're voting. They want convicts to vote. They want to get more minorities to vote, which is why they promise them everything. And for the last couple of years, they've been promising the college kids free schooling and the young parents free Medicare, free health insurance. These things are impossible to pay for. Impossible. But yet, because these poor people who don't know any better and are easily misled, they want to believe what they're promised because they believe it may be done and it would benefit them. Well, the bottom line is, listen, you've been fooled for years. And the Democratic Party has a history of being failures. A myth. The Democratic Party favors the poor. That's false. The Democratic Party likes minorities. That's false. It was the Democratic Party who wanted slavery. It's the Democratic Party who has consistently increased our debt and don't come up with ways to fix it either. All they do is point the finger at the other party, lie, twist the facts, and their motto is, and this stems back to Mr. Obama, and even before him, is if you repeat something enough on TV, on the internet, when politicians get interviewed, if you repeat it enough, people will eventually believe what you're saying, and they will help spread the false narrative. That's how they work. They divide us. They pay people to protest. They pay people to be violent. They pay people to divide the country, all for votes. And they sit back and they don't condemn anything. Do they condemn the violence? No. Do they want to help the police fix it? No. They want to do what the people say. And these are the people that are getting paid to say it. Defund the police department. That's insane. The police department does more good than bad. Do we have bad apples? We got bad apples in every profession. Whether they be doctors, lawyers, policemen, firemen, corporate businesses, and politicians are the most corrupt out of any group. But yet, they will continue. They don't want law and order now because they think this would help them win the next election. No law and order means you have no governance and you have no control. People are not afraid of going to jail because they know you're not going to lock them up. And then the biggest thing the Democrats use is the virus. It's Trump's fault. Listen, anybody can point the fingers. It's another false narrative. That's what they do. They continue with lies. Trump didn't start the virus. And if you look at anybody involved in this, there is no way to know if something should have been done on day 15 or day 25 or day 55. No way to know. You can guess. You could Monday morning quarterback. You could point fingers for votes. That's what you're good at. And you blame him for that. And you also, the latest thing that Mr. Biden is doing, he's taking credit for the economy. The economy was at its lowest ever with him and Mr. Obama. Obama used this country. If you look at Obama and the people who pushed him forward, you'll see George Soros. You'll see that guy Farrakhan from Chicago who hates the United States. He surrounded himself with a lot of bad people. And I'm starting to believe that his intent was to help change this country for the worse. Many times he had opportunities to side with the Americans or with the Iranians. And he chose to bow to the Iranians and turn his back on the Americans. Is that an accident? He also chose no pledge allegiance in the schools. Is that another accident? They were all over the place. Everything that he's done has been anti-Christian and is basically because we are a Christian country. That's what we were founded on. Most of the people that come from Europe were Christians. And we follow that. And we managed to get along. Is it perfect? No, nothing's perfect. Is there problems with it? Absolutely. But what you do is you address the problems. You don't tear the entire thing down, especially when you don't have a good alternative. You see, the Democrats bitch, but offer no alternative. Look at Joe Biden. This poor guy. I mean, and I can't say poor because he has ripped us off for 47 years. He's lived a life of luxury. His family has made multi-millions of dollars. He rides around in limos, private planes, is greeted, is worshipped by some people. And they all say, vote for this guy. But yet when you interview him, which you can't do, you can't ask him a question. He can't remember his lines. He definitely appears to have some kind of mental defect and can't function. But the Democratic Party will prop him up like he's, what's that movie about Bernie? Where the guy died and they wheel him around in a wheelchair and pretend he's alive. That's what the Democrats are doing to Bernie. They're propping him up and they're hiding him. And they're telling him what to say. This is why his positions have drastically changed to the far, far left. Who do you think is feeding him? The far, far left in the Democratic Party. And the person controlling all of this and inspiring all of this is Obama. Obama's been working behind the scenes. And Obama's another guy who came into the presidency not with a lot of money, but now he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, has multiple houses that are worth millions and millions of dollars. How did all that happen? You think he got it from speaking engagements? Yeah, that's part of it. But you think he got it through a lot of quid pro quo and under the table deals? That's how he got it. He made deals, and he made decisions on inside information, things that we take like a Martha Stewart and prosecute her and send her to jail, as an example. And she's an example because they don't want you to think that all the politicians are doing it. The politicians do what Martha Stewart did times 1,000. What they say you're doing and what they try to prosecute you for and the rumors they try to spread is exactly what they do. But they go on the offense by blaming other people. This is how our country has been, its history. They've created hate groups, all these Antifa, this, that, Black Lives Matter. That's all a farce. This is all about to win the election and to divide the country and to change the Christian values that made this country the envy of the world. I will continue with another tape, which will be tape 2 shortly.